I've got to get some settings straight over here on my laptop or on YouTube for my live, so bear with me a few minutes.
All right, this feels almost illegal to know, but our windows were...
I always forget to turn the sound off, so I got to get that taken care of. Got that taken care of. Let's see what else I got to do. Make sure my settings are correct. Yeah, we're going to do some bacon this morning. When I got up this morning, I decided I was going to do some bacon. So, not fry bacon, but do baking. It kind of sounded weird, didn't it? Yeah, I got all these settings you got to get straight, and you can't do it until you schedule your live or either go live, and then you can go in and do your settings. So let's see what I can do. Hopefully everything is set up now. I can come in here and bring up my chat box so I can read everything. We got Jay Barrows. Hello. Good morning. How are you this morning? Yeah, I'm just trying to get my chat and everything set up good here. Got Jeremy. Good morning. We've been missing you live. And Monica, hello. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. And you know, it's been unusually wet this time of year for Texas, and we're supposed to get quite a bit of rain this coming week. We may even get some this afternoon or this evening. So we don't usually get this much rain, and my garden is loving it all, I'll tell you. I hate turning sideways, but I got my other tripod with my camera on it because I've got to raise it up a little bit to show y'all what I'm doing over here. And I'll have to move it around some. I got my live chat up. And I'll have to do most of the reading off of the, yeah, we got Jay Barrows, Monica Brazil, and Jeremy K. I hope y'all are doing good this morning. We've got 19 watching. Everybody's not in chat, but that's okay. 20 now watching. But that's good, you know. Like about 27 behind. Yeah, I gotta fix me another cup of coffee. Oh, I'm gonna come over here and fix my coffee, y'all. I'm gonna turn into coffee. Y'all get you a cup of coffee. Join me. Join me for some coffee this morning. I gotta get me some creamer and some sweetener. I use non-dairy creamer because I'm allergic to most of the milks, and I got Sweet and Low, so I don't have all the sugar. And I thought I was in camera view, but I see that I'm not. Sorry. But I gotta get this last cup of coffee over here. Yeah, I didn't have a video to put up this morning because I was pretty busy yesterday. And I had these 3 bananas that I had to do something with. So I decided I'd just go live and show you what I was going to do with these bananas. So, oh, my nose itches, y'all. But I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to get in here before we get started. Y'all like my new shirt? I guess it's backwards, isn't it? It says family, faith, family, and freedom. I thought it was kind of neat, so I had to buy it. I didn't need the shirt. You know, I don't usually need anything when I buy it, but I buy it because I like it. We got Eddie Elliott, Monica. Okay, Monica was in here before. Let's see if I can read better over here. I'm trying to read on my laptop over here, y'all. That's one thing I don't like about going live when I'm busy going to do something in the kitchen and try to video it, because I can't see the chat box very good. I mean, I can't be watching the laptop if I'm over here cooking, you know. And there's Edith Margaret Harris. Good morning, Edith and Jeremy. Life with Pippentine. Good morning. I was wondering how many people would come in here this Saturday morning. I know most people go shopping on Saturday mornings, or they've got stuff to go to or do, you know. I don't do a lot of that stuff anymore because I'm here by myself. My kids are grown. They do their own things on Saturdays, on Sundays. I used to take them to the mall when they were small, living at home, and we'd just have a good time going from shop to shop in the big mall up here, and then eat lunch, you know, just have a good Saturday, you know, away from the house, away from school, away from everything. They said you need to watch your blood pressure. Oh, yeah, you do. Mine goes up sometimes, but usually mine goes up because of my allergies. If I'm really, really bothered with allergies kind of bad, my blood pressure goes up in a heartbeat. And then it comes back down really low if I'm not real sick with allergies. And this is a bad time of year right now for me with allergies. Not only the pollen and stuff that's already in the air, but with it raining a lot and then stopping for a few days, all the mold, you know, which is your mushrooms, pop up out of the ground. And I'm allergic to all that. That's why I don't buy mushrooms. I mean, I do buy them occasionally, but not very often. And then I don't get very many because I don't eat very many of them. If I eat too many of them, they'll bother me. My back itches. I got the mad itch this morning. I have a super yummy banana cake recipe, but lately I'm lazy and I just freestyle some banana pancakes with self-rising flour. Well, I always use my self-rising flour. The only time once in a while I will get plain flour, but usually it's because the stores don't have self-rising. And you know, at one time last year, you go to buy self-rising flour, you couldn't find any. You were lucky if you got plain flour. The only difference is you got to add your baking powder and your salt if you got plain flour. Otherwise, it's the same thing, you know. They've already added it to self-rising, so they aren't worth it. Don't let the trolls do that to you, Edith. Well, like I said, Edith, you just got to ignore them. Don't pay any attention to them. Just put them in timeout and forget about it. Don't let it bother you. You never bought it till you married your Southerner. But I guess I don't want to wait too long to get started. I know, Edith, and I know it bothers everybody that comes into my lives You know, they don't like the trolls coming in any more than I do, but there's not a whole lot we can do about it except report them. And I've turned them already into YouTube. And the only other thing we can do is all my moderators just have to block them, put them in timeout, or block them completely, or put them or hide them. A good thing to do is hide them from the channel. That way they keep coming in to the chat. They can see that they're in the chat, but nobody else can see them. We can't see them. So they can leave all the comments they want and nobody can see them. So they're hidden away. So that might be the best thing to do, is just hide them. That way, let them figure out that they're not being seen. Because it'll take them a little while to realize they're hidden, and then they might leave and make up another name and come back in, but we can hide them all. They'll run out of names eventually. Yeah, I think you're right, Lynn. If the mods just immediately block them and nobody says or types a word about them, it'll take away the reason they're doing it. Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, feel free to, just hide them from the channel. Hide them, block them, put them in 24-hour timeout. If they're in 24-hour timeout, they can't come back in for 24 hours. That's good. A whole day. We'll be off the live by then. And I know my eyes are swollen. My eyes stay swollen all the time. I can't help it. Yeah, don't pay any attention to them. Don't give them any recognition at all. And maybe they'll sooner or later go away. And there's Paula Bryant. Hello, good morning. Well, that's good, Eve. Just block them. Do whatever you can to get rid of them. Yeah, I got me a cup. This is my last cup. 2 cups right there, actually. That's a pint jar. I drink coffee for breakfast is what I do. No, you're not late. We haven't got started yet. I'm just sitting here waiting a few minutes and letting people get time to get notified that I'm live and come in if they can. And then we're going to get started here in a few minutes. I think I got all my ingredients lined up. I may not have. Who knows? I'm always trying to look something up the last minute because I forgot to get it out. So you never know about me. Yeah, I didn't get a video done yesterday to post this morning. And I didn't want to go out there and just do another garden tour because that's lame. I've already posted the garden tour. So I said, well, I need to do something with these bananas, so I'm going to just go live and do some baking. Coffee for breakfast is breakfast of champions. That's why I like watching your videos. Well, thank you, Jay Barrows. I'm glad you unscripted. Yeah, I don't plan anything. I go live at the spur of the moment, just like I'm fixing to do some baking. It wasn't planned other than I've got bananas I wanted to do something with, and I was going to do something with them this morning anyway, but I did not plan to go live to do it. I don't know, Edith. Evidently nobody raised them because nobody ever taught them any better. Yeah, that's what happens when parents get so busy with their lives that they work all the time to pay for their big homes and pay for their cars, and they don't pay attention to their kids. Their kids are pretty much on their own to grow up, undisciplined, and that they turn into trolls is what happens. That's where our trolls come from. Okay, well, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get started with my stuff over here. Oop, I just kicked the camera. Try to raise it back up a little bit. Oh, my vent, my AC's kicked in, and it stirs up a little bit of pollen every time it comes on. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can vacuum, keep my house spotless from dust, and I still get a little bit of pollen and stuff that comes through the vents when that fan kicks on. First of all, I've got 3 bananas, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw them in the... They don't even have to be mashed because they're pretty mashed already. I mean, they're soft. I mean, I think they'll just go ahead and finish mashing whenever I get them in the everything else and mix them up. But at least they're not black. I don't like to cook with black bananas, and usually I don't. I'll put them in the compost if they're turned black already. I'm going to put in 1 egg. Let's see. It calls for 1 1/3 cup of milk, but since I'm putting bananas in there, you're supposed to cut it back to 3/4 of a cup. And guess what? I'm using chocolate milk in my mixture this morning. You use 1 cup of sugar, white sugar, 2.5 cups of, I've got self-rising flour, so I'm putting 2.5 cups of flour in there. Now, what else? 3 tablespoons of salad oil. Oh, I forgot to turn my oven on 350. So I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of salad. Ooh! I mashed the jar. I forgot. I have to be careful with these plastic jars, because if you squish them, that oil is definitely going to fly out of there. Just like that did. There's good and bad things about plastic, y'all. That's one of the bad things. 2, 3. And I might have a little bit of extra, but that's okay. Let me try to get this cleaned off a little bit with this oil on it. Because I got oil going everywhere. So learn a lesson from my mistake that I just made. I grabbed that jar with this container, and I didn't realize I was squeezing it, but it got squeezed, and I got oil everywhere. But it's not a complete disaster. Now, let me make sure. I've got my Dandy Betty Crocker recipe that I always use for my banana nut bread. Only I'm not going to put nuts in this morning. Okay, I got my flour, my sugar. I don't need salt or baking powder. I got my 3 tablespoons of salad oil. I got my 3/4 cup milk, 1 egg, and we're omitting the chopped nuts. So And I'm just going to mix it with this beater until I see that it's all mixed up in there good. I want to scrape down some from the sides. I know what I forgot to get. I told you, I know there's always something I don't get that I forget. Yeah, I don't know where they're at. Oh my goodness. Oh well, maybe not. I found my walnuts though. We can put walnuts in there. I wasn't going to, but I think I will. Okay. You know what? I thought I had bought some liners for my muffin pans, because that's what I'm doing today. We're gonna make some muffins. But I think I will go ahead and put my nuts in there. Change my mind. It's a woman's right to change her mind, isn't it? Just go ahead and put that whole pack in there. And I can mix my nuts up with my spatula. I don't have to put the beater on them. But I found this Betty Crocker cookbook that I bought back in, I think it was like 1969. It's like the Bible of all cookbooks. I've used it for, well, it was like almost 1969, I think, when I bought the cookbook. But here's what you can do if you don't have liners for your pan. Just take you a paper towel, dip it in your shortening or Crisco, lard, whatever you're going to use, and then just go around inside of your muffin tins with it. I mean, that's basically what I did before I even started buying paper liners. I started buying paper liners because I didn't want to have to fuss with cleaning the pan the way you do if you don't use liners. And I'll come right across those liners in a little bit when I'm not even looking for them. When I don't need them is when I'll find them. But this saves your hand from getting, or your fingers from getting all greasy, and you don't get all that stuff under your fingernails and that kind of good stuff. Or you can spray them. I mean, you can take any kind of oil, cooking oil spray, and spray them. But I wanted to show you how I did this. I don't know actually if I've showed it in a video before, how I did this. And I did this for many years. I never used any of the spray oils. I just always used Crisco or something like that. But that's all that is Crisco. Now, I don't know what is the best to, it might be to do this number. Just, I guess you can see what I'm doing. Get some of this batter in this and just put it right in there. And I only fill it up about 3/4 of the way. I think that's pretty much what you're supposed to do, because it's going to rise some. I don't know if I'm going to need the other pan. That's why I haven't greased it yet. I may have to use a half of a pan. And I've got one of those too, but I didn't get it out. See, that's another thing I forgot to get. So I'm not always prepared. I didn't get the half pan out in case I needed it. Oops. But these little ladles, these scoops, are so good to do stuff like this. Got a bit much in that one. And I don't know if I'm going to have a whole pan. I know I got my spray somewhere. I thought I had put it on the table. No. And I don't know how this is going to spray out. It may. Yeah, you can do that, but then you'd still have to. Because this doesn't really spray, it squirts out in a stream. I'm still going to have to do this number with it. To spread it around, because I don't want my fingers all down in it. Make sure the tops of the sides of it are. And I probably won't have enough to fill all this whole pan up. We'll see. We will see. Oops. I made a mess on that. Because I try to use this to keep it from going on the tops like that. Because you don't want it left there because it's going to burn. It will burn in your stove if you leave it that on the top. And I don't usually like it like that. Don't want any of it to burn. I can't see the chat, y'all. When I get these in the oven, I can sit down and chat with you a little bit. I think the recipe called for that it said it would make 24 of these, and it's coming close. I probably put a bit much in some of them. Get my spatula. Get it all down off of the sides. You know what? That's the wrong one. Where's my other one? Got it right here. Maybe with using the spatula to scrape it out a little bit, I'll have enough of those other two, I think. I think I'm quite going to make it. Got quite a bit left in the scoop. Well, let's try this one more time. I don't think I'm going to get another one. No. I'm going to get 23 cupcakes. I didn't quite make 24 because I put too much in all of them. If I'd have put a tad less, we'd have ended up with 24 cupcakes. My finger's clean, y'all. Go ahead and fill that up so it doesn't. And we got to bake these 55 to 65 minutes at 350. So we're going to go ahead and get these in the oven. Oops. Forgot I had that in there. Woo. I need to get the oil out of that one little, because that oil will burn in there. And I don't want the oil to burn in there if I can help it. Yeah, I put that frying pan in the oven to get it out of the way the other day, and I forgot. I forgot that I put it in there. Maybe I got enough of the oil out of that now that it won't burn in the pan. But I'm going to set my timer for 60 minutes because it said 55 to 65 minutes. And then we can come back over here and chat some. And drink my coffee. I'm sorry I got in front of the camera, didn't I? Love my cast iron, but yeah, I've got the big cast iron pan that I used to always fry my chicken in. I always fried chicken in that cast iron pan years ago because I brought that pan with me from North Carolina when we moved out here. And I've got two or three other ones, but they're the smaller ones. They're like 7 and 8 inch pans. And that's usually what I'll make a little individual cornbread if I want a cake of cornbread, because I don't want to make a big one like that. Now, if I had my whole family here, I'd use my big frying pan and I'd put, make a big cake of cornbread. But with me on my own, I just use the small pans and make an individual one. Well, yes, it's well seasoned. And I don't know if any of you have come across the video where I showed people how to actually clean a cast iron frying pan. Because I had fallen down on the job on mine, and I don't know if you've ever had one that it got really crusty under the bottom of your pan, and you could clean it, scrub it, and you'd still have that crusty, burnt stuff on the bottom of your pan, and you didn't know how to get it off. The best way to do it, if you got a fireplace, or if you got a fire pit outside that you can put it in, or if you can build a fire outside, even if you don't have a fire pit. Just build you a fire, put your cast iron pan in that fire, and just leave it. Just let it burn all day long. I'll guarantee you, if you leave it in there, it will burn all of that crust off. You got it, J Barrows. It will burn it off. And it'll end up looking like a brand new cast iron pan. Because that's the way I do mine. If it gets real crusty on the outside, that's the only way I'm going to do it. I can't scrub it off. So I just put it in the fire outside. Just, take it out every once in a while and check it and see how it's getting off. And you'll be amazed how well it cleans it. And it's not going to hurt the pan. Because the cast iron pan is made to cook on fire with. That's what everybody usually cooks on a campfire with. So it's made to do that. And in fact, if you cook on a campfire all the time, your pan would probably stay cleaner on the bottom and the outside of it than it does with you cooking on the stove. No, you don't. I don't cool it down with anything. I'll just take it out of the fire and then set it aside and let it cool off naturally. I don't put it in in water. I'm making banana nut cupcakes. They're in the oven. And they got to be in the oven 55 to 65 minutes. That's one reason I didn't want to wait real late, for everybody to get in. If anybody's coming in now, they can always watch the replay of the video of the live, and if they want the recipe and all this other stuff. But yeah, you bake it at 350 degrees for 55 to 65 minutes, because some people's oven get a little hotter than others, so it may vary a little bit in the cooking time. No, you definitely don't want to cool it down with water. Well, you make banana nut bread, you make banana nut cake, you make banana nut cupcakes. That's what I'm doing right now. We're making us some cupcakes. And I'm not putting icing on them because I'm going to use these for like breakfast muffins. They go great with a cup of coffee. Now, you can put a glaze on them if you want. That would be good, like a lemon glaze. But I like them just plain to eat with a cup, drink with a, yeah. Eat my cupcakes with my coffee for breakfast in the morning. I'll get it right sooner or later. I said earlier that I bet you took some of those banana nut muffins to your neighbor. He would. No. I heard one of them tell him that if they had not started trying to run me off my own property and all kind of stuff just because I told them they were not on the property line, on their property line, but they told me no, I needed to leave, I needed to move, I've been here too long. Well, that made me mad, and I cussed them out. But one of the guys over there told him, and said, well, you'll never get her to give you anything after doing that. And I'm not. I'll put it in my compost pile before I give them any damn thing. Watch my mouth. I'm not mad this morning. Yeah, somebody does that to me, I'm not giving them nothing. I would have maybe given them a jar of chow or cowboy candy, or maybe gave them a couple of muffins or something, but not now. They're not getting nothing from me. Jay Barrow said I'll drive to Granbury to kick some butt. Well, I've already heard them say, I put my own fence post down back here just to block anybody from coming on the lot behind me and trying to enclose my easement in their fence. And I heard one of the guys over there say, well, we just pull those old fence posts up. They're not fence posts like the aluminums we put up. It don't matter. They're still fence posts. And I got a cord. It's a wire cable that's plastic coated, like clothesline type wire. And the cop told him, they said, you better not touch anything over there. And he said, you better not touch that lady, because if you do, you're going to jail. Plain and simple. So I hope he believes them, and they'll stay away from me, because they don't have any right coming over on my property. And I did notify the owner of the lot. I've sent him a letter, because he does not accept calls from anyone. I don't know if he's even got caller ID or not, but I do know he does not accept calls. Now, he'll call you, but he's not going to accept a call, because he said he had too many people aggravating him and bothering him, so he just quit answering any calls unless he's expecting a call from someone and he knows them, or he makes a call. Other than that, I have to get in touch with him by letter, and I've already sent a letter to him, so it'll be the first of the week before he gets it. And I don't know if he'll want to do anything about it. He may say, the heck with it, I'm not going to bother with it. But I think he had a right to know what they're doing. And he is the only one that can legally stop it or make them move the fence, because he can make them move that fence off of his property line if he wants to. But you know what? I got out my map, and my property does go to a point back there. It's not straight across from one property line to the other. It goes in a V like that. And where that V is where my water meter is. And I measured it, and my water meter is about 2 foot off of where they've marked for the water line, because they put blue flags down right where the water line is. And they put them down over here so they knew where the water lines were. And you got 2 foot of easement off of that water line on each side. So each property owner had to give up 2 foot of their property that goes into the easement. And they're taking all of that 4 foot. And my water meter is on, I think, my side of the property line. Because I measured it, and my water meter box, the container that it's in, measures about 2 foot off of the center blue line, flag that they put down to mark the water line. So mine is not actually in the easement, it's on my property. What I'm saying is my property line goes up around my water meter and then down. So my water meter is in that little V-like thing. My water meter's right there. It's right on the edge of it, but I don't think it's quite in the easement. It's on my property. And the electric company told me many years ago when I had to get a new pole put out here to the house, because the owners that put the house here many years ago put down their own pole. It's not one of the big ones from the utility company, and it rotted at the bottom, and I needed a new utility pole out there. So they came and put the new one down right at the edge of my carport. And they told me, they said, in case you ever needed to know if anybody tried to put fences or anything back there, they said, your electric pole that the company put down is not in the easement. It's on your property. It's on your lot. And that's what got me to thinking. I said, well, if they put the utility pole on my side of the property line, then it's very possible that they put my water meter on my side of the property line too. And I'm pretty sure they did. And they can't come down that line and put a fence on top of my water meter, that's for sure. They'd have to go around it. But so I measured 2 foot from that line, that flag, that blue flag that marks the water line, to see where the other property line is behind me. And that's where I marked it. I went right down the line and put my fence post up with that cable on it, just across that back lot, one lot. I haven't done it to all 3. Because I wanted to know where the property line was to the back of the lot behind me. Because I can go to that and fence it off just like they're fencing off over here on my property line. And he hollered and told me, he said, you can't do that. You're not on your property line. I said, you're not on your property line either. You see what I'm saying? I mean, his property line is here. The easement is in here. And he went all the way over to this property line to put his fence down. So he's taken up this whole easement. He went over to this guy's property line, and that's where his fence is. And he supposedly is supposed to put it on this property line because that was, his property line is over here. Yeah, he even told me that the boss of the job, he said, well, I've done this before. I said, I'm sure you have. I said, I'm sure you've taken the footage of other people's property too, just like that. And I said, it's illegal and they can sue you if the property owner wants to do it. But it does take the property owner to do it. I can't do it. Now, I can if they do it back here on mine or try to. But I told the cop, I said, now if they try to ever come behind me and enclose my easement in their property line, there's going to be some trouble because I'm not going to let them do it. I'll be like these protesters, just sitting down. And the cops that have to physically move you, that's kind of the way I'm going to be. Because I'm not going to let them enclose my water meter in somebody else's backyard. Because I would not be as nice as that lady that helped me move the wood chips. She said they did that to hers on the other side of town. And every time she's got to go turn her water off or back on, she's got to go around the block, knock on their front door, and tell them she's got to get to her water meter. And they ask her, well, why do you keep coming over here? They said, because you enclose my water meter in your backyard. And she said, either I'm going to take out part of your fence to get to the water meter, or I'm going to come through your yard to do it. And that means I got to come knock on your front door. Well, they get mad at her, she said, every time she's got to go over there, which is quite often. So, because if I had a leak in a pipe in my house and they blocked me from my water meter, I couldn't even turn the water off. I'd have to call the water company to come out here, and God knows how long it would take them to come. And in the meantime, that water's running and my meter's running. It would run my water bill sky high. I've had something like that happen one time before, and it was a leak in the water meter. The only problem was the leak was on my side of the water meter and not the company side. So I was charged for all the water that leaked out, ran out, and my bill went way up there. But you know what I'm saying? You'd be and that guy even said, because the cop told him, they said, well, if you fence it off, if they build a house on this side, he said, they're going to have to get to their water meter, and the water company's going to put it in the easement. And they have a right to get to their water meter if they need to. And they'll be knocking on your door to get to the backyard. Well, nobody's going to be home, he said. Yeah, there'll probably be people home, but they're not going to go to the door. But you know what? If they don't, then the person that built the house over there has got a perfect legal right to take out part of the fence to get to their water meter. Because they weren't supposed to put the fence there anyway. And that's exactly what I do. I'd be knocking out boards in the privacy fence. Or if they put up a metal, like a aluminum panel fence, I'd be cutting through some metal. And I'd be getting to my water meter. And I wouldn't have to repair it either, because it was not right for them to put it up. They'd have to fix it themselves or just take the whole fence down. And I heard one of the guys tell the cop, oh, well, it's straight across from that corner all the way over to this other guy's corner, across 3 lots of mine. Cop said, no, it's not. And he said, I've seen the map myself. And he says, I know it goes off to a point. It don't go straight across, not on her lots. And the block over here on the other side of the street's the same way. It goes down so far, and then it comes almost to a point. I mean, it comes like this. And then the other side comes kind of like this. And it comes up to a point and then goes down like that. It does it on both of these blocks. And I just happened to be the one that's in the center that ended up with the point in my lots. Yeah, and he hollered over here and he said, I thought you were a nice lady. I said, I am a nice lady until somebody does me wrong. And I said, then I can get mean if I have to. And I said, in this case, I can get mean. And I hate to bring that all back up in here, but I don't even know how we got started on it. We're talking bacon and we got on property lines. But I'm in the right. I mean, they're the ones that are wrong. But anyway, that's the way life goes, isn't it? You get the ups and downs, and you get the crooks and the thieves, and that's part of them right there. He's probably done it to every single lot that they built, that they fenced in. They've probably taken the easement for themselves. But I told her, that lady, I said, I don't blame you. I said, I don't know that I'd even go around and be polite enough to knock on their door. I said, if I had to get to my water meter and they had it fenced in, I'd be taking out part of a fence. That's exactly what I do. I'd be making me a doorway in the fence line. Jeremy said, we are here, vent anyway. I halfway thought about going to my son's today, but it's so weird because I ordered something for his birthday and my oldest brother's birthday. The same thing as what I ordered. I ordered 2 of them. Well, they never came, never come, and I kept checking on the tracking. And the things were being shipped from Ireland, y'all. And I didn't know it. I thought it was from right here in the United States because they didn't tell you when you ordered it where it was coming from. It appeared to be like somewhere like Amazon, where it's right here in the United States. And that tracking showed it moving all over Ireland. And then it got to a point where it stopped and it didn't move anymore. So I messaged the company and I said, you know what? This is ridiculous. I ordered these items from my brother's birthday and my son's birthday. I've never received the merchandise. And I said, their birthdays have come and gone. And I said, I need my merchandise. They emailed me back and they said, well, due to Trump's tariff, they're held up at the border. So they're held up at the Ireland border. And I emailed them back and I said, well, you know what? If you can't send me my merchandise, I want a refund. And I checked my bank account and it didn't show refunds in there, but it showed that the original charges had disappeared. So I don't know how they did that. It doesn't even show they were ever charged to my bank account because they charged me 4 times for 2 blankets. One went through PayPal and the other 3 went through my bank account. And all 3 of those charges have just disappeared off of my bank account when I went and looked at it. So I don't know if there's a way they can go in and just like null and void a charge. But you would think it would show that they did that. I don't know. I'll make sure I don't ever order anything from Ireland again. And you know what? I went on Amazon and I found the exact same thing for basically the same price I was going to pay for them to ship them from way over there. And I just reordered them from Amazon and they're supposed to come today. So I'd probably just go to my son's tomorrow or next weekend and give him his. I haven't decided yet. And I've got to mail my brother's to him to Tucson. Yeah, and Father's Day is coming up, but my papa's dead. I mean, I don't have any father alive, and I don't usually give my son Father's Day presents. His daughter can do that, or his wife. I don't usually do it. And I don't give my brother Father's Day presents either. But right is right and common sense. Oh my God. Common sense tells you don't block in the easement because you're blocking somebody away from their water meter. I mean, who knows? The water company may, under those circumstances, run a line under the fence and put the water meter in those people's backyard. I don't know if they ever build over there, if I don't end up buying it. Because the owner told me he didn't want to really sell it right now. He wasn't pushing to sell it. He definitely did not want to sell it to any of those builders back here that are wanting to buy it. But he said, I'll sell it to you. And he said, you don't even have to be in any hurry to get it because I'm not selling it to anyone else. And he said, I'm not pushed to sell it. So you got plenty of time. So I'm going to take him at his word. But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to get on here and do a live and do something other than just sit and chit chat. And we're baking muffins, so. And another good way to eat these muffins is to eat them while they're hot and put butter in them. If you've never tried a banana nut muffin hot with butter inside, just like you would a biscuit, oh my God, they're so good, y'all. I can't tell you how good they are that way. I was telling you in the chat earlier, have you heard of a voice control fan before? No, I've never heard of a voice control fan, Joshua. But I guess they have got them for blind people, that it's hard for them to get around, just like they've got voice control lights and everything else. That's a neat thing to have. Just tell your fan to turn on and it turns on by itself. That's the way all these new age homes are going to be, all these computerized homes, you know, everything's computerized. You just tell, what is it, the voice that I can't remember the name that they call it. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. There's Jeannie. Hello, Jeannie. Good morning. She said, good morning, Linda. I love banana nut muffins. Have a wonderful day. Well, thank you. Alexa, yeah, I was trying to think of Alexa. Because, you know, nowadays all these new modern homes are computerized. So you tell Alexa to turn stuff on and off, you know. Your whole house is run by Alexa and voice control. But you're in bad shape when your computer goes down. Nothing will work. I don't know if they have backup switches for your lights in that case or not. So if Alexa's not working, you can actually turn your light on. Don't say her name. Yeah, because there's liable to be people that are watching that have that computerized stuff in their house, and I'll be telling Alexa to turn stuff on. I didn't think about that. Go live and turn everybody's microwaves and ovens on, or turn all their lights on, or turn their heat on when it's 100 degrees outside. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I never thought about that. And there's Clemicsy. Well, hello. I don't know who you are. That's a new name for me. I don't think I've ever seen it before, but welcome to my live chat. We're waiting on my muffins debate. Waiting for my timer to go off. Oh, let me check them a little bit and see what's going on. Oh, they're rising nice and pretty, y'all. They are rising nice and pretty. And I don't know how much more time they got on them. Oh, you were there last live. Well, I don't remember seeing your name, but yeah, welcome again. Joshua said, my brother found this for me, and he said you had to say the magic phrase like, hey-ro, hey-ro. Well, that's good. So only you know that magic phrase, Joshua, so only you alone can control your fan. That's good. You know, that is a neat idea. Have Alexa lock your doors, and nobody can unlock your doors except you if you have like a password, or like he said, a magic word that you got to say to activate Alexa to open your door for you. That would make it even harder for people to break in your house, wouldn't it? Unless they come through your windows or just busted your door down. And then I'm sure your alarms would go off. Y'all join me. I'm still drinking my coffee. Yeah, I got to do some kind of video later today that I'll have one to post tomorrow. I usually always post a video on Sunday and sometimes go live on Sunday too, but I don't know what I'll do yet. There goes my AC kicking on. I've got 9,900 and it looks like 10 or so subscribers. So I'm almost at 10,000, y'all. Just like a spridging under 10,000. I'm going to have a live and just go, whoopee. Oh, I hit 10,000, aren't I? I have to bake a cake for that. Yeah, well, I'm not there yet, Jeannie, but I'm almost. Alexa just told me that I don't have any doors connected to Alexa. That's what Tamara said. Oh, you got Alexa in your house? Joshua said this one's $25 and it's rechargeable. I have to say, hey, a row fan, or on fan, off light, on light. I didn't know what's the one that does speed. Well, when you're blind, it really doesn't matter about the light, does it, Joshua? Unless you can see some a little bit. Maybe you can distinguish light from dark. I know there's some people that are considered legally blind, but they can still tell light from dark. They can see like light figures, which it's real fuzzy and stuff. It's not real clear. My chat just disappeared. My laptop's trying to go into hibernation, so I have to look at the camera screen. And I hate that because I got to get right on top of it to be able to read it. And then I got my face right in your face, you know. Let's see. This one's a voice control fan, and he found it at Home Depot. Okay. Well, everybody, you can get a voice activated fan at Home Depot if you need one. Let me check the time on my timer. Oh. I don't think it's going to take as long as they said. Because my muffins look like they're almost done. And I don't want them to burn. And then, you know, it takes less time for muffins to cook than it does for cake layers. Because they're not as thick as a cake layer. So let me take these out and check them. Ah. See there, y'all? I don't want them to burn. And they're getting pretty and brown. So let me do the toothpick test. That's pretty clean. I do the finger test. I push them down at the top, and if they don't leave a finger mark, they're done. I think they're done. And I still had like 25 minutes to go. So y'all remember that. If you use a recipe that normally you cook like a loaf of bread, and that's basically what this is. It was meant for bread loaf pans instead of muffin tin. So it takes a lot less time to do them this way. But see there? Woo! Hot! Let me get a little plate or something to put one in. That is done, y'all. Y'all have a muffin. Yeah, it's a good thing I checked them, because if I'd have left them in there any longer, they'd have been burnt. They're nice and brown on the bottom. Nice and brown. Woo! Hot. And they come out of the muffin tin so easy. Yeah, they didn't even have to be in there that long. They were starting to get a little bit too brown. But they're good. Look at that. There goes our muffins. Banana nut muffins. Y'all take one. Get over here and get my camera straight. I got one. See here, I got me one, but it's too hot to eat. I had to put it in the paper towel to even hold it. Yeah, it smells real good in here. But yeah, I should not have left them in there quite that long. Probably, let's see, I still had like 25 minutes. Yeah, about probably anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes would have been plenty long. And I still had, what, about 20 or 25 minutes left on the timer. So yeah, I left them probably in there about 10 minutes, a little bit too long, because they're a little bit browner on the bottom than I wanted them, but they're not burnt, so they'll still be good. I just split one open, or tried to, and it's burning my fingers, so I gotta wait. Woo! Yeah, I learned that a long time ago. When you mess with recipes, and it was meant for cake recipes and bread recipes, you gotta cut the time down quite a bit if you're doing it in muffin tins. But look at the inside of that. Don't that look good? Y'all take a bite of my muffin. I gotta taste it, y'all. Mmm. That is so good. And I'm glad I put the nuts in there. But yeah, I should have took them out a little bit sooner. But they're still good. Jeannie said her mouth was watering. They taste pretty good. Yep, timer, they usually take about 18, 22 minutes, and I was forgetting. I was talking and chatting with you, and I forgot about my time, because I should not even have set it at 55 to 60 minutes. I should have set it at like 25 minutes and checked them. But they're not burnt. They're pretty good. And there's Amy Lynn. Hello, Amy. Welcome to our chat. Yes, Joshua, I've got a, well, it's not a rechargeable fan. It's a battery-operated fan. It's a camping fan that you can take camping with you. Oh, wow, Jeremy. Sounds like you're going to have a good time tonight. They're going to close down your little town tonight, and you'll have wine vendors, food, truck live bands, all that kind of stuff, huh? That sounds pretty good. One thing I need to do, and I'll show you what I do. Is I take plastic containers that I have lids for, and I usually do this while they're still hot because I don't want them to dry out. And just put them in there and close, seal them up airtight. Need to get the rest of them out though. But if you've got an airtight container, it's always good to do this. That way your muffins don't dry out. Woo, hot, hot, hot. Now I've got a bigger one than this, a flat one, but I just grabbed this container because it was handy. Now those didn't get quite as brown. That's basically the way I wanted all of them to be. They're brown, but they're not dark brown. So it depends on what section of the oven they're in. Well, I'm not going to get all these in there. I'm going to have to use the other one or one of the other containers. Oh, let's see. Oh. I think maybe this is the one I usually put them in. I'm not sure. I don't think it'll even hold them in this one. Let me get the other one. Or if you got a pan, I stored another pan inside of it. If you got a, this is actually a cake pan, an oblong cake pan. You can store them in that. And I don't think it's even going to hold all of them in here. There's a lot of options about storing them, but I use these bowls more than anything. But I'll do this number because I can't get the lid down. Here, I got 11 in each one. I'm just going to put the lid on them while they're still hot and seal them up and get them airtight. And that's the way I'm going to store them until they're, I eat them. I'm not going to let them dry out. A lot of people will, I got on here. A lot of people will let them completely cool off before they put them in a container. And really, the best way to do it is to put them in the container while they're still hot. That way it holds moisture in. Because as they cool off, a lot of the moisture is going to evaporate out of the muffin. I just realized there's a paper on the top of that. But yeah, that's the way I do it. I put my muffins in containers like this. Or I can find one that will fit the muffins as small as I could. And then if I want to freeze part of them, I'll stick part of them in the freezer in a container like this. And that's what you can do when you make two-pan recipe. Because you see that one banana nut bread recipe, if you use the whole recipe, it will make 2 muffin tins of cupcakes. Actually 24 cupcakes. Jeremy says, Linda, I need to build next to you. I'll help you anytime for some food. Take a bite. I still haven't eaten my muffin yet. I'm still working on it. It is so good. Oh, you're going to do, I don't ever grow rhubarb. I don't like rhubarb. I don't like the taste of it. I didn't know of anybody while I was growing up back home in North Carolina where I live, in my dad's hometown. And they were all farmers. I never knew anybody that ever grew rhubarb. So I didn't grow up eating any of it. And there's Ken. Hi, Ken. We just got through baking some banana nut muffins. How are you doing today, Ken? Yeah, but I did not grow up even knowing what rhubarb was because nobody around us grew it. My dad didn't grow it. My mom never bought it at the store. My first experience tasting rhubarb was at Lakestone Terrace when I worked out there. And all the residents seemed to just have a fit because, oh my God, they're making rhubarb pie today. They were just jumping for joy. So, and I told some of them, I said, well, I've never eaten rhubarb pie. And I cut a small piece and I tasted it. I spit it out. It was awful. It was bitter. It did not taste good at all, and I've never tried to eat any since. Oh my goodness, there's Randy. Hey Randy, you are a stranger. I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been? I've been great. It's nice seeing you come in to chat. You said Marie Callender had the best rhubarb pie. Well, I don't know if it just happened to be the way it was made or what, but I did not like it. It was bitter. I said I would not waste my time to even grow that. And I've never grown rhubarb. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Randy. Glad to hear you're doing well. No, I've never heard of the 7-inch one desktop charger, Joshua. Randy, we've been getting so much rain here. My garden has been loving it. My tomato plants, everything is just growing like crazy. And I still haven't figured out what this one mystery plant is I've got growing out here. It was supposed to have been bush beans, but it's not. It's some kind of squash or pumpkin. And I've got plants scattered all over the yard. And as soon as I find out what they are, I'm going to get rid of part of them because I don't want all of them. We got Tamara Douglas and Tamara Angling in here. Welcome. I'm watching weather and earthquakes right. Oh no, earthquakes? We don't usually worry about earthquakes here, but we do worry about high wind, hail, and tornadoes. It has two USB port, C port for regular USB ports and one, wireless thing you put on your phone. Oh, okay. Looks like Joshua's been shopping for us. Well, I hope you don't get any earthquakes, Randy. Yes, Randy, I was talking about that plant that's in the green stalk tower. I put it in the plant identifier, and it said 50% large pumpkin. But it doesn't have anything on it yet. I thought one of them had a little green bulb start on it, but now I can't find it. I don't remember which one had it on there, and I can't find it now. Oh no, Uncle BB, don't worry about it. Yeah, but if I've got big pumpkins out there, some of them are growing up trellises. I can't handle big pumpkins going up trellises. I don't know what I'll do with them. I've got a pumpkin pie vine over on that side of the yard in that blue big pot where I had my watermelon last year. And I planted watermelon there too, but the pumpkin vine took over. And it's already got two little pumpkins about that big around. And that's about as big as they're going to get because they're the pumpkin pie ones. Yeah, they're starting to vine out, and I'm going to be cutting vines. I think I'm going to start pulling them out of the green stalk tower, and I'm going to put my bell pepper in there. Because I've got a bunch of bell pepper plants I've got to put somewhere. And as many of those plants as there is in my yard, I can't handle that many pumpkins if all of them start producing big pumpkins. Oh my God, I'll be overrun with pumpkins. I'll have to set up a stand on the side of the highway and start selling pumpkins or give them away. It could be a gourd, Jeremy. I don't know. That's why I was leaving them, because I wanted to see what it was before I decided to pull any of them out. It could be one of those gourds you make birdhouses out of. I don't know. Or it may be just a pumpkin. It hasn't produced anything yet, so I don't know what it is. And we finally found out what that raspberry bush was. It's not a raspberry bush. It's oh, what did I say it was? I can't remember the name of it now, but it's a poison berry. You can make jam and jellies out of them, but you got to cook them at least 30 minutes before you can even think about eating any of it. Otherwise, they will be poisonous. But the birds love them, and the bird's stomach is not bothered by the poison in the berries. Elderberry, yeah, there you go. It's an elderberry bush. And it was marked raspberry when I bought it. That's why I bought it. I bought a blackberry and a raspberry bush. And this has ended up being an elderberry bush. But it's never had berries. And I've had that bush in my yard for 3 years. It gets plenty of blooms. And then the blooms die off. And then nothing. We got Abdel Hattie. Welcome, Abdel Hattie. I know I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm doing good. How are you? No, I don't have fruit trees. I've been wanting to get a fig tree, but I'm going to have to plant it in a great big pot. Like growing what he does that. He's got all his fruit trees growing in the big black pots, kind of like I've got some in blue and I got a couple of them in black in my garden. But he's able to move his into a big greenhouse that he keeps heated in the winter months, and I can't do that. I don't even have anywhere to put a great big old greenhouse. Put up a couple for the guy next door. Yeah, they all the fruit trees like peaches and all that, they do attract animals, rodents and stuff that will eat your fruit. The birds will get in your trees too if you're not careful. A lot of people have to wrap their trees when the fruit is bearing to keep the bugs away from them and the birds away. Like, I put up those little CDs to flash light and move to keep the birds away from my strawberry plants. I've got several little green strawberries out there. I don't have any more that have ripened yet. I'll just go to farmer's market for fruits. Yeah, that's what I figure. It's too much trouble to try to grow an actual tree here, and especially a fruit tree. I'm Moroccan. I respect you. Well, thank you, Abdel. I'll just call you Abdel. That's not too hard to say. Yeah, I'm still eating my muffin that we baked. Oh, wow, you got a ton of pears. My grandparents, when they were alive, they had apple trees in their yard. They had pear trees, fig trees, persimmon trees. And I guess it does make a difference if you plant them in the ground, they have a better chance of surviving through the winter months. Because it gets cold in the winter time in North Carolina. And my grandparents' apple trees didn't hurt them. Their fig trees kept growing. Persimmon trees kept growing. I guess if they put down enough root and get established good before the cold weather hits, they have a better chance of surviving the winter months. Yeah, I was wondering that too, Jeremy. Randy, what do you do with all those pears? Do you can them? I know my mom used to can pears and peaches because we'd buy them by the bushels. They could get them pretty cheap at the farmer's market and by the bushel. And I remember my mom canning pears and peaches. She'd also can blueberries, but usually we went and picked the blueberries. You eat some, can some, and make pear butter. That sounds good. Pear butter. Wow. I don't think I've ever eaten pear butter before, but I bet that's good. Yeah, I've never had pear butter either, but I bet it's so good. Kind of like apple butter. Randy said it's good, but the apple butter is better. I always loved apple butter. My mom bought that all the time when I was growing up. We always had apple butter in the house. Get rid of that cold coffee. Live apple butter on fresh bread toasted. Oh, that sounds good, Jeremy. Just like my jalapeno, the pepper jelly and jam, and the watermelon jam that I made last year is so good on toast. Hot buttered toast, and you put that on there. Oh, it's so good. Yes, I'm American, Abdul. And I know you said you're Moroccan. But this is the best banana nut bread recipe I've ever found. It's the one in my Betty Crocker cookbook that I've had for over 40 years. Because I got this book way before I moved to Texas. I saw those videos. I'd love to try them all. Well, it's the first time last year that I ever made the watermelon rind jam. So I didn't know what to sorry. I didn't know what to expect. But oh, it's so good, and it does taste like watermelon. I said if I end up buying a watermelon this year, I'm going to make it a point to cut up that rind and make me some more watermelon rind jam, or I might make, I don't know if it's candied jam, candy watermelon rind, or is it pickled watermelon rind they said people make. Because I've never eaten a pickled watermelon rind. I don't know how that would taste. But one that is candied, I think would taste like a dessert. It would have a watermelon taste. Jeremy said he's not had a good watermelon this year. I've not bought any watermelon because right now I've got so much stuff in my refrigerator, I don't have room to put watermelon. And the ones I found out here are at least like that big around, they're too big. It'd take me forever to eat that much watermelon. Okay, watermelon pickles taste like bread and butter pickles. I thought I remembered you may have said that before in live chat when we were talking about it. But that kind of sounds good. It would taste like kind of like the watermelon, but it would have the pickly taste to it, I guess. That sounds like it'd be good. Frida said hi. Okay, well, hi, Frida. Hi, Pat. Pickled watermelon is good but different. Yeah, I've never tasted any. I know friends back home, I remember seeing watermelon in their jars, and it was like cut in strips, and I guess they pickled it, but I've never tasted any of it. They are a sweet pickle. Well, it sounds like it would be good. I don't know. Something different, that's for sure. Trying to see how, yeah, we've been on here for almost 2 hours. I guess I probably should let you folks go and get on with your Saturday. You probably got tons of stuff to do today. You have a pickle festival every year. How neat. I guess each area of the United States, every state or town probably has some kind of festival to honor whatever they have the most of in their area. Like in Wilmington, North Carolina, they have an azalea festival every year. And Greenfield Lake is beautiful that time of year because all the azaleas are in bloom. You got pink, you got reddish looking ones, you got white azaleas, and they're all along the lake, and it's beautiful. But they have an azalea festival there every year. Some of the towns have blueberry festivals. It's a neat time, And like I said, I guess every town has, or almost a lot of the big towns have festivals of whatever they have an abundance of in their area all the time. Well, thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. I know all of you folks have something to do for a Saturday, and I don't want to keep you tied up on my live all day. So, and I've got to run to the post office before it closes, and it's like 14 after 11. They close at noon today, so I've got just about enough time to get out there and drop my package off, because it's something I sold on Poshmark, and all I got to do is go drop it off. So, okay, Randy, well, next time, there's always going to be a next time. And I'm glad you came in. It was good seeing you, hearing from you again. So all of you, I appreciate you coming into my live. I love each and every one of you. Randy, you have a blessed day, and all the rest of you have a blessed day. Have a good night tonight, and have a safe day tomorrow. And we'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Try my muffins, y'all.